Hi everyone, it's Infinity Gamer and welcome to another Toilet Tactics video. A tactics video when you are doing something more important, you can learn a little bit more about the game itself. Now grenades are a weapon that I believe are one of the most underappreciated and sometimes underutilized weapons in Infinity, and they're perfect for certain missions where you need to get a tricky target. Now grenades are typically the same rules as a BS attack. You have to draw a line of fire to them. One of the key differences is that when you do shoot with a grenade, you use your physical attribute rather than your BS attribute. So things like a Krakot Renegade has BS 11 but PH 13. We have something like a Volkaluk has PH 14 but BS 12. So this means that in some situations in a shoot-off, looking at something like grenade profile might be better than a BS profile, especially if you're facing some modifiers, and also things like range. Don't forget that within 8 inches, a grenade gets +3. So it could be pretty good to use a grenade if your stat line means that shooting isn't as good as throwing, for example. Another reason why I love grenades is the speculative attack ability with them. I love speculative attack when it works, but again, it's slightly easier when you've got things like high pH or things where this is more likely to happen because you're suffering negative modifiers when you do a speculative attack. The speculative attack for grenades are great because you get your range modifier if your target is within 6 inches, 8 inches. I'll pop it on there so that you can see. But it doesn't count the route the grenade has to take to the target, just the distance from the thrower to the victim, as it were. So in this example that I'm bringing up here, we've got Hector in the story above my Knight Commander. And what Hector is going to do is throw a grenade, speculative fire, to hit the Knight Commander. Now, because they are within that the modifier distance, that Hector's going to get +3. He's going to get -6 for it being a speculative attack anyway. But with his pH being so high, this is actually pretty much a done deal, as it were. So he's just going to throw it out of the window and it's going to curve back in and land on the target. Now this can be expanded out into some really horrific situations. You might have terrain pieces where a door is 20 inches away to this fully enclosed room, but your target is directly below. Now you measure from thrower to target, so that is the mod distance, even if it's a 6 inch that way, 2 inch down, 6 inch back, even if it's a 14 inch travel distance, it doesn't matter, it's the distance between the thrower and the target. I've been caught out horrifically with this with Duroc. He has super jump, or climbing plus, I think it's super jump, and so he intentionally went onto the rooftop above my lieutenant when we were playing Decapitation, and then threw a grenade out and around into the room and hit my lieutenant and another couple, because you're also using the circular template when you use a grenade. Now when you speculative fire with one of those, you don't center the template on the target, but the template has to affect the target. Now this means that again there's some shenanigans at play, well not really shenanigans, but some cool tactics where you could just touch your intended target and then you could be getting a good number of other people. Now, the general rule with placing models in Infinity is you don't have them closer than 2 inches together if you can help it, because, again, a direct impact template, once you've centered it on that target, safe zone is 2 inches out. Now, because of how speculative fire works, you can actually be getting things that are more than 2 inches out, and again, if people have positioned poorly, you could be speculative firing with grenades in quite a lethal fashion. So this is something to watch out for. If you're facing Duroc, that is going to be horrific. Things like Hector, they are obviously quite nasty. Speculative fire is the only one that can really ignore line of sight. But again, it's not just vertical. My example was throwing down to the floor below. You could throw around corners on the same level. You can go up and around and through, and in a million different ways. It doesn't matter the route that the grenade takes, because again, there's no real physics mechanic in Infinity. So long as it's a potential reach, either through an air vent, a window, a door, as long as it can get there, it's good enough. So that's one of the reasons why I love and hate grenades in the same instance. What do you think? Do you use grenades very often? Do you love them? Have you been caught out by this weird grenades can take any direction they want kind of avenue? Let me know in the comments what you think about this as a tactic, and I will be back soon with another toilet tactic.